The PlayStation Store is running their big spring sale right now, and there are a plethora of great deals, and I want to go through all of them, but in today's video, I know a lot of you guys are on a tight budget right now, so how about we take a look at some great games under the price of $15. A lot of games fall into this category, so without further ado, let's get right into it, and I want to start things off with a game that I imagine the majority of you guys have played in some form, but the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition is 65% off for $13.99. This may actually be a brand new low for the game, and Skyrim I feel like is a game that's really good to get into right now if you just want to get lost into an open world and invest a lot of time into. Well, Skyrim is definitely going to offer you that. The Special Edition, yes, it's improved for the PS4, unfortunately still does not run at 60 frames per second, which is a little bit of a bummer, but definitely enhanced from a visual standpoint, and you do have the DLC content in there as well. Skyrim is an iconic game, and if for whatever reason, I imagine the majority of you guys have played it, but for whatever reason, if you haven't, definitely jump on it. It's a great game, and again, one that you can absolutely lose yourself into and play for hours on end. A game that you can easily sink over 100 hours into, and then just exploration and everything like that can sink a lot of additional time. $14 is a great buy. Let's go from one open world game to the other. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, 70% off for $14.99. Another game I would hope the majority of you guys have played, but for whatever reason, if you haven't, such a great time to get into this one as well. Much like Skyrim, the Complete Edition includes all of the additional DLC. That includes Hearts of Stone, Blood and Wine, so that's going to add a significant amount of gameplay to an already gameplay-filled experience. You're talking about a game that easily you can, again, sink over 100 hours into, and then you add the DLC in there as well, and you're talking about a lot more gameplay. Witcher 3 is tremendous, amazing storytelling, great gameplay, great characters. I often tout Witcher 3 to be the perfect single-player experience, and that it excels in nearly every area. I would even go as far as to say every area that a single-player game needs to excel at. Maybe the gameplay isn't up everyone's alley, however, I really like the style of it. It's very engaging, again, fantastic storyline, and you don't have to play Witcher 2 and Witcher 1 to get the gist of the Witcher 3 story. Does it help? Sure. Does it give you more context of the world? Sure, but those games aren't available on the PS4, hopefully sometime in the future. CD Projekt Red does make that happen, but for now, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition for $15 is an absolute steal. Another steal, how about BioShock the Collection? 80% off for $12. What a fantastic deal this is. This gives you BioShock 1, BioShock 2, as well as BioShock Infinite. So you are getting 3 games for just $12. That's $4 a game, and that is an awesome buy right now. BioShock 1 is fantastic. BioShock Infinite is my favorite game in the series. Love the setting, love the scenery. Gameplay is some of the best you're gonna get out of an FPS. BioShock 2, usually considered to be the worst in the series, but take the word worst lightly here. You're talking about the worst among 3 top-tier games, and BioShock 2 is still a very, very good game and offers a lot to like in its own right. $12 for the collection is a fantastic buy if you want a set of quality first-person shooters that are, of course, single-player focused. No multiplayer here, but they are great, and I would strongly, strongly recommend them. Return to Rapture and Columbia and experience the award-winning FPSs. They are tremendous, and at this price, easy buy. Next up, we have Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which is 25% off for $14.99. Now, Uncharted 4 is a game that just arrived as a PlayStation Plus freebie, so it is very possible that they offer Uncharted: The Lost Legacy as a Plus title as well, so bear that in mind. But I wanted to give The Lost Legacy a shout, just because it is a very good standalone Uncharted experience. Look, it's more of the same from Uncharted. You don't need to fix what isn't broken, and that's really what The Lost Legacy lives off of. It's a very good game, but that is what you would expect out of Uncharted in general. It's that Uncharted gameplay you know and love, and for $15, I think it's a pretty good buy. It is a little bit shorter, but it was a budget release, so that is to be expected as well. So check that out for $15, but with a word of caution, very, very possible, given Nathan Drake Collection and Uncharted 4 were plus freebies, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy could end up being a freebie too, but maybe you enjoyed Uncharted 4 so much that now you want to jump into The Lost Legacy. Next up, we have Far Cry Primal Digital Apex Edition for $10.49. Far Cry Primal doesn't get a lot of love in the Far Cry franchise, and I wanted to give it a mention as I thought it was a pretty good game. Yes, a lot of people saw it as this innovative facelift for Far Cry, and it was to an extent. You've got the prehistoric setting going on for it. However, you also have to bear in mind that when you actually start playing Far Cry Primal, you can immediately tell it's still a Far Cry game. It has that Far Cry nuances that you might know and you might love. Who knows? At this point, Far Cry might be a little little bit of an acquired taste for me. I really enjoy the Far Cry games, and if you want an open world adventure, an open world first-person adventure, I do think Far Cry Primal is going to offer you that. The Digital Apex Edition doesn't include a bunch of extra stuff. You get the Legend of the Mammoth, 3 extra missions, a new weapon, and 4 enchantment packs that offer access to rare resources and unique customization options. But $10.49 I would say is a really good buy for it. I do believe that's the lowest price this game has been for, so definitely a good buy here. Next up, we have Dragon Ball FighterZ, 75% off for $15. Now, I think Dragon Ball FighterZ is an awesome fighting game. It is worth mentioning that just like every other fighting game on the planet right now, these games have an obscene amount of DLC content. I get it, you want to monetize these games for an extended period of time, and they probably do pretty well from selling those season passes and character unlocks. However, it is a little bit of a bummer. Still, the base game for $15 is great. Arc System Works did a fantastic job with this game. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you're really going to enjoy it, and if you just want a really well-made fighter, maybe you're a casual Dragon Ball fan, well, FighterZ is going to be for you as well. Now, obviously, you should have some Dragon Ball fandom, at least to an extent, because I feel like the presentation of this game is so strong and that really does enhance the overall quality of the title. Nonetheless, for $15, it's a fantastic pickup right now, especially if you're looking for a quality fighter. Play it with a couple of your friends and you'll have a great time with it. And yeah, there is definitely a learning curve to it. If you want to get competitive, there are a lot of good players online, so bear that in mind as well. Next up, we have Dark Souls 3, which is 75% off for $15. This is a great buy for Dark Souls 3, which is a game, again, much like Witcher 3, Elder Scrolls 5. Might be a title a lot of you guys have already played. Whatever the case may be, if you have yet to, Dark Souls 3, I think, is the pinnacle of the Dark Souls franchise. Maybe that's a little bit of a controversial opinion. I don't really think it is. I think you can make an argument DS1 or DS3. I thought Dark Souls 3 was a really well-made game. Gruesome boss battles, great action-oriented gameplay, and atmospherically, From Software does some of the best worlds that you can come across in all of video games, and Dark Souls 3 is an incredibly satisfying game. Of course, the challenge is there. I feel like that is to be expected with these Souls titles, but if for whatever reason you have yet to check out Dark Souls 3, $15 for it is a pretty good pickup. Next up, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto. Want to give this a mention as it's 75% off for $12.49. I think this is a really, really good buy right now. This includes the Storm 4 base game, and then you also get all of the additional content, 3 DLC packs from the Season Pass, the all-new Road to Boruto DLC, and all of the previously exclusive pre-order bonus content. You've got a significant roster here, and Road to Boruto does add quite a bit of gameplay as well. The story mode to Naruto Storm 4, I think, is great. It alters up some specific scenarios from the anime, makes them a little bit more crazy, but honestly, I would rather prefer that than it just being a one-to-one carbon copy of the anime. If you want that, watch the anime. This doesn't give you the entirety of the Naruto story, however. That would be a little bit of a behemoth to cover at this point, but it does give you quite a bit of it, and if you're a fan of Naruto, Storm 4 should be in your library. Road to Boruto, this version adds that additional content, and for $12.49, I think it's a pretty good pickup. Next up, want to give a shout to the Prototype Biohazard bundle. Prototype 1 and 2, $12.49 here. I think this is a pretty good buy. I really enjoyed Prototype, both of the titles, even when Prototype 1 came out back in 2009, and everybody was kind of crapping on that game and hyping up Infamous, and I get it, Infamous was probably the better game, but Prototype 1 offered a lot to like as well, and I thought it was a very enjoyable game. Prototype 2 was a significant improvement upon that game, and I thought that game was a very, very compelling open world title. Now, the visuals aren't anything to write home about. I think that was one of the imperatives with Prototype 1, was that the visuals were kind of lackluster, but hey, you're going in for this, you're going into this for some open world, visceral, action heavy fun, and I think Prototype Biohazard bundle, the Prototype 1 and 2 in general, just offer that in spades. Lastly, I definitely want to give a mention to Focus Home Interactive's Vampyr. That is 75% off for $14.99. I was so surprised by the quality level of this game. Going into the release of this game, I just was not sure how it was going to turn out. I was like, maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't be so great. It turned out to be really freaking good. I really enjoyed my time with Vampyr. The gameplay wasn't amazing, however, they did roll out an update where you can play the game at an easier difficulty, and it'll make the game pretty streamlined to get through. But the voice acting and the story in this game, very well done. And the setting was great, and a lot of the narrative pieces were just very, very strong. So from that standpoint, I thought Vampyr did really, really well. I hope we get a follow-up at some point because I think there's a lot of legs to this kind of storytelling, and for $15, I think this is an excellent buy right now, so definitely give that a look as well. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, with the spring sale right now, a lot of great deals are available. You can check out all of these right now for under $15, and do remember that the spring sale will cycle out in 2 weeks, and we'll get a new batch of deals, so we'll cover those as well, and we're probably going to do a couple more videos taking a look at the batch of deals currently available, so stay on the lookout for that. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.